One of the famous quotes by Oppenheimer, he said,
"We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, 'Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.' I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
2 atomic bombs were successfully created by the Manhattan Project and dropped on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. The bombs resulted in the surrender of Japan in World War II and are estimated to have killed 200,000 people, the majority of whom were civilians. The choice to drop the bombs is still up for debate among historians and decision-makers, and it has been since the war. Some claim that the bombs were vital to end the war and preserve lives by avoiding an invasion of Japan, while others argue that other choices, such as demonstrating the bomb's power or continuing the blockade and bombing campaign, may have achieved the same objective with fewer civilian casualties. The United States' top-secret research and development effort to create the first atomic bombs during World War II was known as the Manhattan Project. It was started in 1939 when scientists like Albert Einstein alerted President Franklin D. Roosevelt to the risk that Germany might develop nuclear weapons. Creating plutonium, uranium enrichment, and designing weapons comprised the 3 key components of the Manhattan Project. The Little Boy and Fat Man bombs, both built with plutonium, were created by the project's scientists. A few weeks before the Little Boy bomb was detonated on the Japanese city of Hiroshima in July 1945, the first atomic weapon was successfully tested in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Almost 130,000 people participated in the program, working at various locations across the U.S. and Canada. The Manhattan Engineer District of the United States Army Corps of Engineers oversaw the project, which was directed by physicist Robert Oppenheimer. American physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer is most known for serving as the scientific head of the Manhattan Project, a top-secret research and development initiative that helped create the first atomic weapons during World War II. Oppenheimer was born in New York City and graduated from Harvard University with a bachelor's degree in 1925. The University of Göttingen in Germany awarded him a Ph.D. in physics in 1927. He then continued his education at the University of Cambridge in England. Oppenheimer joined the University of California, Berkeley faculty as a professor of physics after returning to the country. He was a pioneer in theoretical physics, making significant contributions to quantum mechanics, nuclear physics, and astrophysics. Oppenheimer was chosen to participate in the Manhattan Project during World War II. He was named the project's scientific director and was in charge of overseeing the construction of the atomic weapons. Oppenheimer was acclaimed as a hero following the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings and is recognized for having played a crucial part in the project's success. But, Oppenheimer's security clearance was terminated after the war owing to worries about his political ideas and ties. Throughout the 1930s, he had been active in left-wing political groups and had ties to well-known communists. Oppenheimer was never able to restore his security clearance despite objections from many of his scientific peers. Oppenheimer returned to Caltech in November 1945 after leaving Los Alamos, but soon realized that teaching was no longer his passion. He agreed to Lewis Strauss' invitation in 1947 to become the director of Princeton, New Jersey's Institute for Advanced Study. He kept adding significantly to theoretical physics, and for his efforts, he received various awards. Oppenheimer, a habitual cigarette smoker, received a throat cancer diagnosis in the latter part of 1965. He received unsuccessful chemotherapy and radiation therapy late in 1966 following an unsuccessful operation. He went into a coma on February 15, 1967, and died on February 18, 1967, at the age of 62, at his home in Princeton, New Jersey. A week later, A memorial service was conducted in Alexander Hall on the Princeton University campus. Students and colleagues who knew Oppenheimer as a scientist recalled him as a bright researcher, a charismatic instructor, and the country's first practitioner of modern theoretical physics. Because his scientific interests frequently shifted, he never worked long enough on any one topic and saw it through to completion to be awarded the Nobel Prize. However, his contributions to the idea of black holes may have merited the award had he lived long enough to see them realized by later astrophysicists.